The Scandinavian baby sleep secret. Imagine this. A mother in Oslo wheels her newborn outside in a pram, tucks a thick blanket around tiny shoulders, and walks back inside, leaving her baby to nap alone in the cold winter air. No monitor, no hovering, just trust. If that makes your stomach drop a little, you're not alone. Most of us were raised to believe that the perfect sleep environment means warm, cozy, and close. But what if that instinct, as loving as it is actually working against your baby's sleep? Because science and generations of Scandinavian parents suggest something very different is going on. Today, I want to walk you through 4 ideas that quietly shape how babies in Nordic countries sleep so beautifully. And I promise, by the end of this, you won't just understand it. You'll feel ready to actually try it. Let's start with something that surprises almost every parent I talk to. The temperature of your baby's room might be the single most underestimated factor in how well they sleep, and most of us have it completely wrong. Here's what's happening inside your baby's body when they fall asleep. Their core temperature naturally needs to drop. That's not a metaphor. It's a biological process. The brain signals the body to release heat through the hands, feet, and face, and as that core cools slightly, the body eases into deep, restorative sleep. It's the same mechanism that makes you feel sleepy in a cool room and wide awake in a stuffy one. Now, here's the problem. We love to bundle our babies. Extra layers, warm rooms, thick sleep sacks piled high. And it comes from such a good place. We want them comfortable and safe. But when a baby is too warm, that natural cooling process gets interrupted. They surface from sleep cycles they should be sleeping right through. They fuss, they wake, and we assume they need us, when actually what they needed was a slightly cooler room. Scandinavian parents often keep sleep spaces noticeably cooler than we'd find comfortable ourselves, and their babies sleep longer, wake less, and settle more easily. That's not a coincidence. If this sounds like it might be what's happening in your home, even dropping the room temperature by just 1 or 2 degrees tonight could be worth exploring. Now here's where it gets really interesting, and where I want you to sit with this idea for a moment before reacting. In many Nordic households, there's a deep cultural belief in giving babies space, not emotional distance, not neglect. Space to experience the world at their own pace, including the experience of drifting in and out of light sleep without a parent rushing in. Think of it this way. Every baby, like every adult, cycles through lighter and deeper stages of sleep all night long. During those lighter stages, babies naturally stir. They might whimper, make little sounds, even open their eyes briefly. For us, sleep-deprived, anxious, deeply loving parents, that sounds like waking up. That sounds like needing help. So we go in, we pick up, we feed or rock or shush, and sometimes that's exactly right. But sometimes, often actually, we're interrupting a process that was about to resolve itself. The baby was surfacing, yes, but they were also on their way back down. And the moment we arrive, the moment our smell and warmth and voice enters the room, that biological pull back into sleep gets replaced by something far more interesting. A parent. Scandinavian parenting tends to build in a pause, a breath, a moment of watching before acting. Not because those parents love their babies less, anyone who's met a Norwegian mother knows that's not true, but because they've learned to trust that babies have more capacity than we give them credit for. If you find yourself at your baby's door 3 times a night wondering whether to go in, this idea might change everything for you. But I want to be very clear about something, because I don't want this to feel like I'm asking you to just ignore your baby and hope for the best. That's not what this is. There's a gentler, more hands-on side to this approach that rarely gets talked about, and it's one of my favorite tools to share with tired parents. It's the idea of soothing your baby before picking them up, inside the crib, in the space where sleep happens. Here's the difference. When we scoop a baby out of their sleep space the moment they fuss, we're teaching them, very kindly, very unintentionally, that the crib is a place where nothing good happens. That comfort only comes from outside it. But when we soothe them gently while they stay in that space, we're building a different association. The crib becomes safe. It becomes familiar. It becomes, eventually, the place where they feel calm enough to sleep on their own. This might look like a firm, warm hand on the chest, a low, steady voice, a gentle, rhythmic shush that mimics the sounds they heard for 9 months. You're present. You're responsive. You are absolutely meeting your baby's needs. You're just doing it in a way that keeps them in their sleep environment rather than pulling them out of it. Many parents find that within a week or two of being consistent with this, their baby begins to resettle with less and less input. Not because you abandoned them, because you taught them that their sleep space is safe. If you're in the thick of the 4th trimester right now, and this feels impossibly hard, I hear you. It is hard. But you're already doing better than you think. And then there's the piece that ties all of this together. The one thing that, in my experience, makes the biggest difference and gets the least attention in most sleep advice: timing. Scandinavian parenting places enormous value on rhythm, not a rigid clock-watching schedule, but a predictable, flowing rhythm that the baby's body begins to expect and sync with. Because here's what most parents don't realize. An overtired baby is dramatically harder to settle than a baby who goes down at just the right moment. There's a window, a biological window, where your baby is tired enough to welcome sleep, but not so exhausted that their little nervous system has tipped into overdrive. Once that window closes, the body starts pumping out stress hormones to keep them going. And those hormones don't just disappear the moment you start the bedtime routine. They linger. They make settling take twice as long and waking twice as frequent. Learning to read your baby's early tiredness cues, the slightly glazed look, the yawn that comes just a little too casually, the moment when play gets fussier and eye contact gets shorter, and responding to those cues before the window closes, changes the entire sleep experience. For both of you. When all 4 of these ideas work together, a cooler sleep space, a pause before responding, gentle in-crib reassurance, and consistent, well-timed rhythms. Something shifts, not overnight, and not perfectly. But gradually, your baby begins to sleep like their body was always designed to. And you begin to feel like yourself again. You deserve that. And so does your baby. If you want to go deeper on building a gentle bedtime rhythm that actually works, I've put together everything in the next video, and it picks up right where this one leaves off. Go watch it. You've already taken the first step tonight just by being here. Thank you for watching. I'm Angela. See you in my next video.